friends, Kimberley here, and welcome to the next New Earth Teachings for the Ascended Master Lakeshma event. So for those of you who follow Beings of the Light, you will know about Lakeshma. She's Ascended Master from Atlantis, and she existed of the first Great Awakening that happened with humankind. And there's a lot of parallels what happens in Atlantis to what is happening now. So she existed when it was the passing down of the original esoteric teachings from Thoth to Atlantis. All right, so we have some lovely Patreon members joining us today. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
All right, well, thank you all for joining. And without further ado, I'll go now into trance and bring forth Lakeshma for you. Hi, friends, it is Lakeshma coming through. I wanted to come through in this way. Why, yes, there are many changes that are occurring at the moment, and many of you are feeling these shifts. Of course, you wanted these shifts. Some of you may second guess that you want these shifts. Some of you may be in resistance to these shifts, but my dear ones, you are here on the playground of the most advanced collective in humankind. Dear ones, you are here as the most advanced beings, the most advanced human beings that has ever existed. You are here living now in this time of the great awakening of humankind. You look around and you can see the evidence for yourself. You are seeing the evidence of such consciousness shifts in your society. Some of these shifts though, you may see them as unwanted. But my dear one, this is a reflection of the consciousness shifts. This is a reflection of you letting go of certain programs that has allowed the collective to expand to a certain point, that has allowed you to explore a certain point of your amnesia state, that has allowed you to explore life in a point of victim mentality, a point of duality consciousness. It was part of the collective soul contracts to allow you to explore life in this unique way, to forget more of who you are, to allow certain emotions come into play here. And by you being in this vibrational vicinity, by you being in this certain dimensional existence, in this point of time, in your expansion, in your evolution, the energies that will now be in motion going forwards in your perception of time will expand not only yourself, but all the human collective and all that is. You wanted to forget who you are. You wanted to explore your journey, how it has been up to this very point. So just know that if you were to look backwards on your journey, know that everything was playing out according to the divine plan here. It was playing out perfectly and aligned to what you chose to explore here, both as an individual, a perceived individual, and what you came to explore here as part of the collective. But now you are at a pivotal point in your human history. Now you are entering a new paradigm of consciousness. You have now collectively chosen to move more forwards in your collective soul contracts. And now you are moving through the amnesia, starting to remember more of who you are. You are starting to remember that you are not the victim. You are starting to remember that you are truly one with all that is. So just know that any programs in the perceived past was for your evolution. All perceived programs of the perceived past were dimensional existence that was needed for you, for your evolution, for the evolution of the collective. There are many, let's just say, catalysts. There are many programs within the collective consciousness where the contrast is needed to propel you forwards, to allow this grand, you would say, a big bang, so to speak, an expansion of consciousness, a creation of a divine spark within all of you. And this contrast, this energy from going from victim mentality to empowerment, to remembering who you are, creates such an energy reaction, an energy chain of events that allows you to exist more in the divine state of who you are, that allows you to remember more of your oneness state. This energy expansion would not have its full effect if you had always been empowered. You needed that contrast up to this point to have that contrast, to forget who you are, to know that, to think that you are separate. And the difference, the contrast between separation, duality to oneness, when you remember more of who you are, it is such, you would say, a contrasting dimensional experience that propels you even more forwards into the remembering of who you are, that propels the universe into such great expansion, and it propels you and the collective into the greatest great awakening that has ever been. It is energy reaction that ignites human evolution in every single way, both in consciousness, both in form. You needed these shifts. It is about how you view the shifts. Do you view them with resistance? Do you view them as a necessary shift to allow you to expand and remember who you truly are? You have the power here. You have always had the power here. You have the choice in how you play this game of expansion. Do you choose to play it with an open heart? Do you choose to play it with an open mind to see everything that is occurring for you in your reality, knowing that it is all occurring for you out of love, that is all occurring for you? It's occurring for you. It is not occurring to you. If you are one of those sensitive individuals that feel the shifts more intensely than others, and this is also part of your divine mission here. This also relates to your Pacific soul contract here, what you came to explore here. Those of you who are sensitive to these shifts, you wanted this sensitivity because it allows you to be more witness to the changes that's being played out here. It allows you to be witness to your own expansion process, and allows you to more consciously address programs that no longer serve you, to allow you to propel you further into your own life purpose here, your soul purpose, what you came to explore here. And by you being propelled further in a perceived faster pace than others, so to speak, in your perception of time, you start to embody more of your oneness state, more of your divinity, and you are able to stand more in your divine power. And by doing that, you are able to then assist others who are still in fear. You are able to then be the light shower for others, the way shower for others, to be the light worker for others, to be that beacon of light, to allow others to remember their own light, to allow others to remember their own divinity. Can't you see? It's all part of the perfect divine plan here. It is about how you perceive it. And it's about being conscious and being present within each shift. And yes, we understand that this year has been very intense and there has been many shifts here, but this is a time of the greatest evolution of humankind. For there to be such a great evolution, you as a collective are required to go through certain consciousness shifts. You are releasing all these programs that is no longer serving you in your next stage of evolution. You are seeing this in your reality. You are seeing people using their voice more. You are seeing people rise up together, even though at some stages, initial stages of the Great Awakening, some of these rising up together may be perceived to be in fear. It is a movement of energy, and let's just say that it is a momentum, and once the movement comes together, the movement will then reflect more of who they are in love as opposed to fear. But understand also that as you move through this multidimensional experience of your reality, understand that as you go through these stages of awakening in your own perceived individual experience, yes, you may experience dimensions of fear, but these are dimensions that have gifts there for you. It is not about fear itself. It is about acknowledging that all dimensional experience are to be accepted by you. This is how you unite in oneness. It's not about seeing one dimension as fear, as unwanted, and a dimension of love is wanted. It's about bridging the separated aspects of you and the collective consciousness by being in acceptance of it, by being in unconditional love with all dimensional existence, whether that be fear, whether that be love. Know that fear is an illusion, but it's part of the program of the collective consciousness, my dear ones. And as part of the collective consciousness evolution, part of the processes is remembering more of your divinity, remembering that you are unconditional love. It is about acceptance of all conditions, whether they be fear-based, whether others are in fear, whether you experience fear. If you are resistant to the dimensional experience that is presented to you, you create further separation. Can't you see? It is about accepting all dimensional experience. And once you can be in loving acceptance, then naturally it's part of the human evolution. You will transmute and transform dimensions of fear into unconditional love. And that's how you as a collective move to more oneness remembrance. This is why you are answering all your existential questions. This is why the events of this year of 2020 has allowed you to go further inwards and has allowed you to ask certain questions about your existence, about the world, about your society, and about how you fit into society. You are seeing many people explore what society is on a large scale and what it is not. There are many people that are exploring fear dimensions, but just know that this is part of the awakening journey. It is not a permanent stage of the evolution. It is just a shift here. And if you're one of those people out there that are traveling through this greatest evolution, the Great Awakening, and you are seeing behind the veil of physical reality, yet you are attached to fear, it is about addressing that fear within you. It is about addressing those separated aspects within you. Are you judging yourself? By you seeing aspects of society as wrong, by you judging aspects of your society, of your world as wrong or as not wanted, you are then telling yourself, you're reflecting within yourself, there are parts of you that are unwanted. There are parts of you that you are judging. There are parts of you that is undesired. Can't you see the correlation here? If you can be in love and acceptance of all who you are, it'll further assist you to see your society with unconditional love. And by you being able to see all aspects of your society in the viewpoint of unconditional love, it will allow you to have more empowerment in seeing all aspects of yourself in unconditional love. There is a direct correlation here, my dear one. So if you can see reality through the eyes of who you are, which is unconditional love, you are source, you are powerful. There are no victims here in the classroom of life, my dear ones. You are all powerful divine beings, and all perceptions of victim mentality is just an illusion. It is just part of a dimensional experience to help certain individuals in their evolution, but it's not the truth of who you are. You are divine beings, limitless beings of love. And it is a time of the Great Awakening where you are remembering more of this for yourself, step by step. But first, you need to embrace all dimensional aspects that is presented to you. It is about uniting duality into oneness, recognizing and uniting all separated dimensions of you and your reality into oneness, because that is who you are, my dear ones. It is with such honor that we come through here today, dear ones. And do you have any questions today?
Hi, Lakeshma.
Hello, dear one.
I do have a question around the shifts that are happening. So Kimberley and I are experiencing shifts, and I was on a call earlier today, and they were like, oh, you're gathering your energy to go into another shift. And I think there are many, many, many shifts, and that sometimes you gather your energy to pull your energy into a new shift. Can you talk a little bit around this?
Do you because you are sensitive, and those of you watching this, listening to this, you are likely those in the sensitive collective consciousness, those that are called, in your terminology, the Lightworkers and the Wayshowers of the world. You are more sensitive than others in your collective for a reason, dear ones. These energy shifts involves activations of certain dormant DNA strains within your very blood, within your very vessel, within your ethereal bodies. And because of these activations within you, it's to allow these new activations to take place, there needs to be, we would say, energetic room for these new, we would say in your terminology, energetic programs to be fully emitted throughout your entire being, through your consciousness. So for that to take full effect, then there needs to be other energetic programs within you that need to be transmuted. So this is the shifts that you are feeling. These are the energy shifts that you experience, not just in your energetic sense, but also in your physical bodies. So your energy that you're feeling, whether it is, we would say, lack of energy, or we would say full of energy, everyone is different in how they're experiencing these shifts. So we would say that because of these certain activations, because you are transmuting certain energies that no longer are required for your evolution, this contrast between activation and releasing of certain energies creates a certain, we would say, a temporary uneven equilibrium of your energies within your body. And by you being able to ground more into the energies of Gaia, by you being able to take time to rest, you then allow the energies to then, we would say, to create an equilibrium effect within your body, which then balances and grounds new energies into your body. But as you activate and you release, your body is in a state of, we would say, contrast in a way, because there are different energies, a density of energies playing out and being expressed within your being. You are releasing energies that are dense, and you are activating newer energies. And when we say newer, these are energies that have always been within you. They're just now being activated in your conscious awareness in this dimension of your existence. So because of the difference between the densities of energies, your body needs time, your vessel needs time to adjust to these energies. So this is the tiredness that you feel. So understand that when this occurs, the best way to deal with these changes is to ground your energy, is to be non-resistant with these changes. If you have resistance to the energy shifts, that dense energy stays within your being for longer until you can let go of it by consciously being in acceptance of it. And as you ground, connect to the energies of Gaia, physically connect with the energies of Gaia. We would say to do earthing with your feet, stand on the earth, bathe in the waters of Gaia, connect with the elements of Gaia. This will further assist you in this equilibrium effect that is needed for you to feel, we would say, more balance in these energy shifts.
Lakeshma, so I've gone through many shifts. And what's curious to me is maybe it's just like having a baby. You just completely forget that whole birthing experience. But I would think there are clues and hints when I'm going into the next shift. Is it just the tiredness? Is that, and then I'm a little foggy, like I vibrate very high. So it's these little nuances, and it's weird how I've gone through so many shifts and I completely forget the next shift. Is that by design? So I just go with the flow, and like whenever the next shift happens, it's whenever it happens.
Because of this year, there's been many intense shifts, and because they've been, in your perception, one shift after another, because they are perceived in your perception of human time to be happening more often and more intensely, that we would say your experience of going into each dimension becomes blurred into one connected journey. Whereas you would say in past times, in your perception of time, they occurred with more perceived time in between, but now they are happening in a perception of faster pacing and in more intensity. So for those of you who are sensitive, like yourself, D1, there are certain signposts, but understand that everyone experiences these shifts differently depending on how sensitive you are. And just because you do not feel the shifts occurring, it still means you are shifting. It's just that it hasn't reached your conscious awareness in the present moment. So understand that with each dimension that you exist in, it has a different density, has a different color, so to speak, a different energy. So if you are sensitive, you can pick up on this. And as you move into a new dimensional experience, which means you have let go of those denser energies and you are now in the equilibrium, we would say, motion of now balancing the activated new energies and codes within you, you begin to vibrate and exist in a reality where it is a new vibration, so to speak. It's a more lighter energy, and it reflects a reality that is different. Yes, you might look around and your couch is still the same, the people might look the same, but everything in your reality becomes different because you then exist within we would say, a higher vibrating dimension of existence that the whole collective is also going through, but their perception of dimensional shifts can vary depending on where they are in their vibrational evolution. So just know, as you are entering a new dimension, so to speak, a higher state of awareness, so to speak, because these higher dimensions are within you, and you're already existing there. It's about attracting this dimension into your conscious awareness state. It's about remembering more of your oneness state. So as you travel, as you start to vibrate in this new felt dimension, you may feel like you are in between states. It is you going into a vortex, so to speak. It is which can be perceived as a magnetic vortex, a vibrational gate. It is we would say, an in-between dimensions where your body is adjusting to the new energies of your new vessel, of the new codes that have been activating, and it's getting used to the new environment, so to speak, the new dimension in which you exist in. And it, depending on your journey, it may take some time for you to adjust to the new dimension. So this is why you may feel like you are in a fog. It may feel like you're not in any reality. You're drifting in a space that is not here or not there. If this makes sense to you, my dear one.
That is really perfect. So I have experienced that, and that's where I am right now. And it's interesting. So I had a test recently of one of my greatest fears is my car breaking down in the middle of nowhere. And my car broke down in the middle of nowhere, and I was so calm. I couldn't believe how calm I was. And I just gave my car Reiki, and I continued on my journey. And if somebody had said to me, oh, you would remain really, you can't trick the universe. Like, I'm surprised I didn't freak out, to be honest with you. But in that moment where I was just like, yep, I'm creating this. It's okay. No big deal. Give love to my car. All is well. And I continued on my journey. And I think these tests are given to us so that we can see how far we've come. And after that test, I'm in that fog, because I think I'm going into that next dimension. So thank you.
My dear one. And as your body and all aspects of your vessel and your conscious awareness, it balances out with this new dimensional existence, you may feel an intense surge of energy. So you may experience this as an energetic high. You may experience this as a surge of clarity, a surge of connection with all that is. And this is your body and your vessel aligning to this new dimensional existence. It is by you then fully being in equilibrium of the new energies being activated within you. But because this year is full of shifts, even though we would say that these shifts have always occurred in your reality, it's just because you are now in a stage of oneness remembrance where you are feeling these shifts more than ever before. So as you accept each experience, as you accept the ascension symptoms that you experience, you will be able to further balance out the energy, so to speak. You'll be able to then release more of the density energies within you to transmute them into love and to allow you to be more aligned to who you truly are in divinity, in a newer, higher vibrational existence, in a perception of a new dimension. It is part of the illusion where you experience new dimensions, but this is part of the human programming. This is part of the human experience where you experience old and new, higher and lower dimensions. Can't you see? But in reality, they are all occurring simultaneously. And in higher truth, you are already existing in all these dimensions at once. But we come here to explain your dimensional existence in terms that you have better awareness in your terminology in relations to your current vibration as a human collective. And well done, my dear one, on being loving acceptance of the conditions that are presented to you. And how was that for you to be able to be witness on your shift, to be loving acceptance?
It was Lakeshma. It was kind of cool because I felt oneness And I'm like, oh my God, this is what Lakeshma was talking about. And then it takes a while for these teachings to integrate within your physical reality. It's just a process. You know, all the non-physical entities are like, yes, Isabel, it's a process for everyone. It was a process for us. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, okay. And so it was kind of cool, because I would have never been able to predict that I would have remained calm. And because you can't trick how you feel. How you feel is how you feel. You can say, I want to be calm. I want to be happy. I don't want to feel this pain. But if you feel it, you feel it. It's just, you know, it's where your beliefs are in your vibration. You can't trick how you feel.
That is correct. So if you were to be in fear in that moment, you would be required to be in unconditional love and acceptance of that event. And once you can acknowledge your experience, whether that is fear or love, it will allow that resistance to be transmuted through you, and it will allow you to then pass the test, so to speak, and then you will vibrate in a higher dimensional reality in your conscious awareness. So that is the work. The work is done by embracing all aspects of your physical reality. It is not just in your so-called spiritual practices. It's not just in your meditations. It is in the moment, in every moment, for every aspect of your everyday life is a spiritual lesson. It's about opening your eyes and senses to the gifts and the lessons that are always being played out here in this very advanced game of evolution, my dear ones.
Thank you, Lakeshma.
My honor. Is there any other questions, dear ones?
Hi, Lakeshma.
Hello, dear one.
Yeah, actually, what Isabel was saying, kind of wanted to ask on that about the tests. So recently I had an incident with my mother. I know she's one of my master teachers, and for a long time, our relationship has been good. And then recently we kind of had something happen where it triggered a lot of childhood emotions and pain. And I really had to step back and look at, wow, all this stuff that was coming to surface. And I thought in my mind, is this a test? Because I reacted differently, and I saw from a different perspective my mother and the situation and my role in it. Before I was like very victim, like she's doing this to me. But I realized like, okay, like she's me. And I was just having all these realizations and acceptance of her. I guess my question is, like, when we have these soul contracts with people, we have these tests. As we move up these vibrations, where there'll come a point where we can have just complete peace with these beings.
It is a step-by-step process. And of course, the soul contracts that links you and your physical family in this reality has, we would say, stronger attachments. And because you have stronger attachments to your physical family here, we would say the step-by-step process to be in alignment when these tests are underplaying can be more advanced, can be more challenging, but it was designed this way. The people closest to you, the ones that are more attached to you, are your master teachers. So yes, it will get easier step by step, but because of so much attachments that you have been conditioned, society's been conditioned, of course, your physical family, you are born through that attachment. But understand as well that you chose your parents before coming here, pre-birth. You knew by coming here, by being born through your parents, that you'll be on a certain trajectory, that you will inevitably explore certain events within your relationship, within your journey here. And it is about being aware one step at a time. And yes, my dear one, this was a test. You are able to be witness to the interplay of soul contracts here. And with each step of awareness, with you being in the present moment, with you being loving acceptance of all beings, even those that trigger you the most, this is where the most expansion of your consciousness lies. You can play with all the metaphysical topics in the universe, but the most powerful expansion for your consciousness comes from embracing these triggering events. This is where your true expansion comes from. We would say being able to understand these metaphysical topics assists you to have concepts around what is occurring, but for you to integrate more of these teachings within you is to fully embrace these tests within your reality. And these tests are all around you, and they lie with what triggers fear within you. When you are presented with a situation that triggers fear within you, then you know this is part of your expansion journey. You know that this is a test for your journey. You know, by you embracing the fear, by facing the fear head on, by you being able to see higher perspectives, by you being able to be in the face of fear and still be in loving acceptance of it, that is where the contrast between emotions dimensions allows we would say a expansion, a spark of energy that creates ripples effects in your dimensional experience, allows you to expand the most in your perception of intensities and dimensional experiences. So it is about being grateful, being open that you have this opportunity. The fact that you have awareness that they are your master teacher is one more step in your journey. This is we would say now you are able to use this as a more empowering tool because you are now aware of what is occurring here. And just because you are aware of what is occurring does not mean that everything will be perceived as easy. Of course, there's been so much conditioning in your consciousness. There's been so much conditioning in society, and much of these conditionings is in your unconscious. So understand that it is normal because you as a collective are still attached to duality consciousness. So as long as a collective is attached to duality consciousness, even though you are existing and exploring oneness dimensions, because the collective has still not fully let go of duality consciousness, it means that you'll still be triggered by fear, but it's up to you on how long you stay in fear. You might get triggered and you'll be able to be at a point where you can in the moment see the lesson, where you can in the moment change your perspective to a high perspective and acknowledge your master teacher. Know that this is a gift for you. Know that this is a test being presented to you because you are ready for further expansion, because you are powerful. If you were not powerful, you would not have the tests. You see, the tests are a necessary process to allow you to remember your power in your conscious awareness state. So if you can see it as a test being presented to you because you are ready, because you are powerful, you then are able to embrace more of these tests. You are then able to embrace fear in such a way where your arms are wide open and your heart is wide open to be able to fully embrace the tests and the events that are being played out in your reality. And by you being in unconditional acceptance, then you have passed the test, my dear one. And those of you who are sensitive, you may be able to feel the shift when you are being triggered in the moments, especially with another. They are reflecting beliefs about you. They are shining a light to aspects within you that you have separated, that you have not accepted within you. They are your mirror. So this is why they are your master teacher. They are reflecting parts of you that you have rejected. So if you can be in loving acceptance of the situation and then turn those questions inward and ask yourself, what is it about you that you are judging within yourself? What is it that you are not accepting within yourself and within your reality? And you will find the answers there. And once you can find the answer, once you can be in loving acceptance, then you will then vibrate in a perceived higher vibrational dimension. And then you and the people in your life will then carry out further tests, further explorations, because you are ready for the next series of tests, so to speak. And within each dimensional experience comes with we would say, an array of tests related to this dimensional experience. It is just like a game. With every game, there are certain levels. There are certain challenges within each stage of a game. Can't you see? And if you can perceive it like this, if you can perceive it as a game of evolution here, you allow yourself to let go more of the resistance to it, to allow you to not be as serious about this game, to allow you to acknowledge it, that it is just a stepping stone for you to play the game at master level. You are all masters here. And it's about embracing these tests. And by you changing your relationship to fear, many of you are fearful of fear itself. There's nothing to fear of fear itself. All it is a trigger of separated aspects within you. This is what the experience of fear is. Fear is not something that is out to get you, that is here to cause you harm. All fear is showing you that there are parts of you that you have rejected, that you have not united in oneness. That's all it is. Once you can see it as a gift and as an opportunity and as a mirror for you to move more into oneness, you will no longer fear fear itself. You will embrace it knowing that fear is an illusion and it's just an opportunity to move more into oneness remembrance.
Thank you so much for that.
Know that everyone in your reality is playing a role for you out of love, my dear one. It is always out of love, whether they are consciously aware of it or not. Their higher self is we would say, playing a role with your higher self in an agreement to allow them to reflect aspects of you that you have not accepted. And if others get triggered by some of your actions or by what you say, then you are helping to mirror the aspects within them that they have not accepted. Can't you see? It is an agreement here, and it's done out of love, my dear one. Although it might not seem like it's in love, in higher perspective, everything and everyone is playing a role for you to remember that you are divine love, that you are one, that everything is happening for you, for your expansion, to remember that you are source manifested. Can't you see the power in the game, my dear one? Once you are aware that you are playing this advanced master game, you'll be able to release more of the resistance to these tests, to these levels of each stage of the game here. But know that with each level of the game you reach, each dimension you vibrate in, even those, we would say the tests might seem more intense, you have the abilities, you have the skill set, the awareness to manage more effectively the challenges at play. So even though you may experience fear, because of the awareness you have gained, because of the oneness that you have remembered, you are able to then more effectively to manage the fear, to be able to see it as just a bump in the journey and not an obstacle, dear one. So it will get easier with each dimensional existence, with each awareness, with each uniting of separate aspects within you, with each separated aspect that you become in loving acceptance of. By that, this is how you raise your frequency, and this is how you unlock more of your divine blueprint. This is how you unlock more of your divine abilities within you and your life purpose, more details of your specific life purpose being remembered in your conscious awareness. It is all about you doing the soul work here, the shadow work, the inner work. It is not about exploring, we would say, these metaphysical topics without doing the shadow work, because if you do not do these inner work of you uniting segregated aspects into oneness within you, it means that by you bypassing this vital work, it means that as you go through the Great Awakening, you'll be attached to fear dimensions. And that is perfectly okay, but you have a choice in how you explore this game. Do you prefer to explore it in fear and to suffer during this great awakening, or would you prefer to explore this great awakening from a perception of love and to have dimensions of love reflected back to you? You have this choice. And for you to attract and to vibrate dimensions of love, then you are required to do the soul work here. This is why you are here. It is about being in the conscious awareness state, being in the present moment, and by acknowledging when you are triggered, and by seeing the lessons there, by you recognizing what it is within you that you have disregarded, that you are not loving. It is about truly loving yourself unconditionally with all aspects of you and all dimensional aspects of you, and in all perceived time dimensions, all aspects of you in your past history and also in your perceived future, and all aspects of you in all emotional dimensions, even aspects of you that are in fear. It is about being acceptance of all dimensional aspects of you. This is how you unite and remember more of your oneness state, dear ones. Dear ones. Is there any other questions today, dear ones?
I have a question.
Yes, dear one.
Thank you for coming through. Sometimes when I connect to feelings in my body, like deep tiredness or other aspects of fear, I get a sense that I'm connecting much deeper than into my own life. So it goes generations back, or goes through the collective. What's going on? Is it just my imagination, or what is it?
You, my dear one, are connected to oneness. You might perceive that all these shifts is just you and your perceived individual consciousness. But those who are sensitive enough, you are being witness to the connection of oneness. You are connected to all beings here, my dear one. So as you go through these shifts, you are also assisting the expansion of the collective. And because you are experiencing this current great awakening shift in a human physical vessel, your we would say different aspects of your vessel connects you in physical dimensions to your physical family, through your DNA and through your blood, and through your different families throughout all the timelines of humanity, and through all the families, both in human form and non-human form. This is a time of great awakening, and you are much more than a human. You maybe, we would say, can only maybe perceive your human lineage to exist within your human family, within your family tree, so to speak. But the DNA of the human collective, which has these programs, which has these connections, as well as your ethereal DNA, goes back so many more years than you can comprehend. And as it goes back in your perception of time, you include DNA and programs that are not from this earth. So as you shift, you are not only assisting the expansion of your perceived individual consciousness, you are expanding all the families that are connected to you through your DNA. So that includes your physical human family here, and you are also expanding galactic families that are in every, we would say, in the DNA, in the blood of all humans here. Much has been dormant, but now is the time of great awakening. You are activating this DNA within you. This is why so many of you are remembering more of your divine abilities here. It is part of a collective contract that you chose to have at this time, to have your galactic DNA activated, so to speak, and have it, the rememberings of this, these lives, these abilities, this connection to be brought forth into your conscious awareness. So my dear one, you are one of those beings who are able to be sensitive enough to be able to experience and be witness this transmuting of density programs of energies that no longer serves you. You are then allowing and being witness to these energies that is also being purged from the collective, because you are attached to oneness. So as you go through these shifts, you are directly affecting the shifts of everyone that lives here and beyond. This is part of your selective, we would say your soul contracts. Everyone here is playing a part in the collective shifts here. It's just not everyone is, we would say, sensitive enough to experience these shifts in a felt sense. So because of your vibration, you are able to feel these shifts being, we would say, being correlated with the collective. So know that as you expand, know that as you unite aspects within yourself, you are then uniting and we would say directly affecting your family lineage. You are directly affecting the collective consciousness. That is how powerful you are. But it's about being in the present moment. Know that you are playing a very powerful part in your evolution here, because not only you are expanding your consciousness by being loving acceptance of everything in your reality, by uniting separated aspects within you, you are also directly doing this for the collective. You are connected to the collective consciousness. So just know, by you doing all this work, all of you are directly affecting the collective shifts here. It's just not all of you have a physical, felt experience of this, but because you do one, you're sensitive enough, you do feel these shifts. And what a wonderful gift you have to be witness of the oneness collective shifts.
Wow. Thank you very much.
So my dear one, because you are feeling this direct plugging in of the collective consciousness, be easy on your journey. Be gentle on your journey. Be in acceptance of all the emotions, all the felt experiences in your reality. Because you are plugged into the collective consciousness, and because of your unique soul contracts, you are being witness and being witness to those dimensional experiences of the collective through your conscious awareness. So it's about understanding that there is something much bigger going on here. You're not just going through the shifts for yourself, but you are directly assisting the collective consciousness, like all of you are, but you are just having the awareness of what is actually going on, D1.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And is there any other questions today, D1s?
I have a question.
Yes, D1.
Okay. Well, right now I am struggling with the fact that I feel stuck in my job situation. I feel frustrated that I can't move on to the job that I really want to do. I'm looking for the opportunity to open up, and it's just not happening. And does it have something to do with the shift that's happening, or can you shed some light onto this?
Mighty One, your true calling, where you're supposed to focus on your energy, the awareness of that specific direction is within you. But it involves letting go of these conditionings about what kind of work you should be in, what society expects of you, what people in your life expect of you, what it means to be successful. This is all tied into your sense of worth, my dear one. By you doing this inner shadow work, by you being in loving acceptance that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, by you being non-resistant to where you are now, You allow the awareness of the step to take. You allow that remembering, the knowing, to come into your conscious awareness. And you'll be given the step-by-step process, whether it is to look at a certain job agency, so to speak, as an example, whether it is to call a certain person that perhaps has a certain idea or opportunity that will assist you on your path, whether it is something else. All the steps to the remembering of who you are will be presented to you when you are vibrationally ready. It cannot happen before that, because there is a process of letting go of the conditionings, of letting go of programs that no longer serve you. So understand that as part of this game of physical reality, it is about also surrendering to the game. It is about surrendering and letting go of the attachment of when certain shifts will occur, when certain opportunities will occur, when more awareness of when more clarity will come to you on which step to take, and the clarity on what not to do and what to do, so to speak. So know that it is all within you, and you do not have to, we would say, to go outside of yourself to receive the answers. It is all there. And understand, as part of these shifts, depending on where you are vibrationally, let's just say if you are going through purges, the releasement of density energies within you can temporarily, we would say, block that inner guidance. This is why it is about being patient with yourself, being loving acceptance of the shifts that are taking part. Everyone is going on this journey in a unique way, depending on their life journey, depending on their soul contracts here. So understand that where you are right now is perfect. Let go of the resistance to where you are now. You had to be at this point for you to then take the next step, my dear one. My dear one, it is about taking a step when you are guided to do so, when you're inspired to do so. If you do not have the guidance to take a step, then you do not need to take a step. Use this time to recalibrate your energies. Use this time to go inwards, to focus on you, to focus on loving acceptance of all aspects of you in your reality. Everything is playing out perfectly the way it's supposed to play out for your evolution. Yes, because of these shifts, you are letting go of a lot of programs that is no longer needed for your evolution. So be gentle, be in loving acceptance that you are going through these shifts. And once you can release the resistance and attachment to what tomorrow would look like, what the guidance will look like, let go of the attachments of what your life purpose looks like, what your career looks like. If you can let go of all that and just be in that present moment, you will be led every step of the way. For if you are attached in a certain, we would say, a certain perspective of what things should look like, you are then being blocked off from that guidance coming to you because you will reject it. So it's about being open to all forms of guidance, being open to all pathways that will be presented to you. Yes, it might come to a point where you'll be guided to take a complete different, we would say, a different path than what you could ever comprehend. So it's about you being able to practice letting go of what your reality is, letting go of all attachments in your life, letting go of what your life should look like. And when you can be in that open perception, when your heart can be open, when your senses can be open, when you can vibrate in alignment with unconditional love and acceptance, it will allow you to then unlock more of the rememberings for your next step, because all the guidance, all like the beings of the light, all your spirit guides are you. They're all aspects of you, and this guidance comes from within you. So it's about being vibrationally ready to allow you to unlock the key to your own power, to unlock the knowing of which step to go. It is there within you. It's about trusting yourself, accepting yourself, being non-resistant to your journey, letting go of attachments to your journey. And in divine time, yes, there is a divine time in all things. Then you'll be shown the next step in your journey. But when this step is shown to you, you may be required to push past the fear. You may be required to take a certain direction that might be quite scary for you, challenging for you. And it's when this step is presented to you, could be a thought, could be a more intense sign. This guidance comes to you in ways that matches your belief systems. But first you need to be worthy. You need to feel like you are worthy, because you are worthy. You need to believe that you are worthy of these knowings. You need to believe that you are love, and believe that you have all the wisdom of the universe within you. You are source. Once you can be in loving acceptance of all aspects of you and in your life, of course, this is a step-by-step process, but once you can consciously, we would say, do this inner work and letting go of the resistance, you will have the knowing. It might just be your own thought. It might be just an inspiration, or it might be a knowing. It might be a sign coming to you in a different way. But it's all going to be shown to you. And it is about you taking that step, pushing past the fear that might arise in that moment, dear one. Dear one.
Thank you, Letitia.
It is my honor. Do we have any other questions today before we finish here?
Hi.
No.
Hello, dear one.
I had a question because you spoke about grounding earlier, and I can connect with that because I think for most of my life I've always kind of had this weird yearning to connect with Earth, Mother Earth, and I'm just wondering if part of that is also like, because when we're spending time, like when we consciously can be connected to Gaia, is she a bit of the bridge that helps us connect to oneness? Is that part of it?
That is correct. You are an aspect of Gaia. You are here in a human vessel as part of the earth. Gaia is an energy source that allows you to ground into the remembering of who you are. You are of earth and you are of source. Gaia, Mother Earth, is an intelligence that is here to assist you on your journey here, that assists you to ground into these shifts, that assists you to recalibrate to who you truly are. She is divine and she is also you. She is intelligent. And by you connecting with all the aspects of Gaia, with Mother Earth, it will allow you to have a felt sense of connection. And it will allow you to remember more of who you truly are in oneness. It's about using her energies, which are part of you. It's a way of connecting to the oneness within you in a perceived external nature. She is you and she mirrors you. If you are having trouble connecting with your true power and who you truly are, if you connect to Mother Earth with Gaia, you are then connecting to yourself just in a perceived external way. Mighty One. And she assists you to ground the energies. She assists you to raise your vibration. She assists you to further activate these rememberings within you in all aspects of your vessel, Mighty One, in all aspects of your consciousness. Wonderful. Well, dear ones, remember who you are. Remember that you are divine. Remember that you are love. Remember that you're connected with all that is. And remember, you are never alone. You are one with all that is. You are love. You are source. You are Gaia. Be gentle on your journey. Be gentle on your evolution here. Everything that's happening for you is for your evolution. It is for your journey here. So embrace it all in loving acceptance, because that's who you are. You are love. And all beings in this world is love. You are loving acceptance. You are love. And everything in your reality is love. Everything that's reflected to you in your reality is a reflection of your vibration, a reflection of your consciousness, a reflection of your oneness state. If you want to live more in a reality of love, then start to love more aspects of you in your reality. It is with love that we come through today. Until next time, farewell.